The sole purpose of this video is to provide a basic overview and orientation of your new apparatus. This video is not intended to act as or replace individualized driver-operator training. Individual fire departments may base guidelines, policies, and procedures tailored for best practices. Pierce Manufacturing and Hughes Fire Equipment representatives are not liable for injuries caused from acts resulting from actions inconsistent with the information provided within this video and/or accompanying manuals. Refer to the Operation and Maintenance Manual for complete details relating to the components and features of this apparatus. Only trained personnel should operate this vehicle or perform maintenance. You are responsible for learning how to operate this fire apparatus under all conditions without having to refer to the manual while operating at an emergency incident. This video will discuss types of warnings and caution labels. It is your responsibility to locate and identify each of the labels and understand the importance and associated hazards. Warning labels will point out procedure that must be taken or action that must be avoided to guard against the possibility of serious injury or death. Caution labels will advise you that there is a risk of damage to property if certain precautions are not followed. Continuous training, reviewing of operation and service manuals, developing good standardized practices will assist driver operators with a more complete understanding of the components and operation of this fire apparatus. As the driver operator of this vehicle, you are responsible for understanding the function of each component of the apparatus, maintaining control of the fire apparatus at all times while in operation. Make operational and functional changes while operating at an emergency without having to read operator's instructions or safety warning labels. Operate manual override and emergency shutdown procedures immediately if a component fails to operate properly. Components location may vary with each Pierce fire apparatus. Review the exact location of each component prior to operation. Major inconsistencies between your vehicle and the information contained in this video should be directed to your sales representative. Safe operation of any vehicle is the responsibility of the driver operator. You must learn the location and function of all controls, switches, gauges, valves, inlets, and discharges. Due to a higher center of gravity, heavy trucks have a significantly higher rollover tendency than other types of vehicles. To reduce the risk of rollover, avoid making sharp turns, excessive speed, and avoid abrupt maneuvers. In the event of a rollover crash, an unbelted person is significantly more likely to become injured or die than a person wearing a seatbelt. In the event of a crash, unbuckled occupants can also become a hazard to other occupants, as they may be thrown around inside the cab. Seatbelts are required while in operation. Please refer to your warranty certificates for details and information enclosed in your manuals. Customer-installed equipment must be mounted to withstand road travel and comply with NFPA 1901. Modifications such as drilling holes or welding to structural frame components of the chassis are not permitted. Contact Pierce for instruction and review of non-structural sheet metal or other dissimilar metals for modification. Follow the radio installation guide for further assistance on installing or mounting electronics. Before placing your new apparatus into service, perform a primary inspection of key components of the apparatus, including all fluid levels, anti-lock braking systems, electronic stability control, and automatic traction control. Weigh your apparatus to ensure that it conforms to axle and brake ratings. Never exceed the gross axle rating printed on the label inside the cab. Exceeding these ratings could lead to reduced component life, personal injury, or death. Review the use of auxiliary braking systems, compression brake, exhaust brake, electronic retarder, and hydraulic retarder. Before placing the apparatus in service, refer to the operational maintenance manuals. Information on the operation and maintenance functions for the components such as the pump, pressure governor, and foam systems, along with other options, is provided in either the Pierce manuals and/or other manufacturer support information delivered with the apparatus. If you need more information, please contact Hughes Fire Equipment. Congratulations, Anacortes, Washington, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 38143. Please utilize this 5-digit job number when referencing your apparatus with Hughes Fire Equipment and Pierce Manufacturing. We'll get started on a brief orientation of your new apparatus. Starting first on the front bumper face on the outer edge, you'll find 2 electronic sirens. Just inside that location, dual air horns. Directly in the center is your mechanical siren. Moving up to the outer edge of the bumper extension is where you'll find the 2 front downward stabilizers. Just up from that location, you'll find a marker turn indicator on the A-pillar. Just inside that location, headlight structure housing low and high beam headlights. High beam is located on the inside. Emergency warning light cluster just above that location. There are 3 windshield wipers across the seamless one-piece windshield. As we move to the outer edge, you'll find your mirror housing a flat and convex mirror. Moving up to the brow of the apparatus, you'll find 5 identification clearance lights. Also within this vicinity, you'll find a forward-facing brow light. As we move up onto the roof of the apparatus, you'll find your emergency warning light bar. Located inside the light bar in the center is your opticom. Let's go ahead and take a look at the vehicle full side view on the driver's side. We'll start first with the cab section, identifying a few items within this area. First, starting with the front axle, you'll find a visual sight gauge in the center, Alcoa wheel, and Goodyear tires. On the side of the bumper extension, a side-facing emergency warning light. This is the down stabilizer. Moving now back to the A-pillar, it's where you'll find your marker turn indicator. Easily accessible with gloved hands. These are your door lock and latch. They are keyed. Right next to that is the grab handle for gaining entry and exit out or in the cab. Just directly over the front axle is where you'll find a side-facing lower zone emergency warning light. As you move up to the very top, you'll find an LED water tank level indicator indicating water level status in the tank, and then also a cab side-facing scene light. As we move down to the lower corner at the rear cab, this is your auto eject shoreline inlet. Full view here of the pump panel area. We'll come back to this area in just a few moments. Let's cover the section with the body first. First, starting with the down stabilizer, this is the middle stabilizer. Moving from this location toward the rear, you'll find your folding wheel chocks. And then moving to the very rear, this is the rear stabilizer. We do have some additional emergency lights located within the rub rail, one in front and one in rear of the axle. Also 3 emergency warning lights, part of the lower zone emergency warning lights. As we move toward the very top of the vehicle in the rear, you'll find also a 360-degree emergency warning light, and then also a side-facing scene light. Let's move around to the rear of the apparatus, where you'll find an arm here identifying a light, and then also, just as we move inside that location, you'll find an emergency light, brake, turn, and reverse light cluster. Also up at the very top, this is that emergency warning light we referenced earlier. Additional images here of the passenger side of the vehicle. Looking now at the body section, the difference you'll find on this side is your exhaust. Moving to the midsection and then onto the cab on the passenger side. We'll take a quick look at some photos of the front bumper area, highlighting first the stabilizer jacks and side-facing emergency warning lights. Let's go ahead and move now into the driver's space. We'll go inside the cab area. We'll start first with the door panel, a fixed door panel, safety and warning placard information. Also, you'll find in this area your combination door lock and also latch, manual window controls, and a grab handle. As we look overhead in this space, you'll find push on or off red or white lenses. Moving now to the base of the seat, when plugged into Shoreline Power, your battery voltage indicator will illuminate battery status. Also, we'll identify this yellow placard next. First, let's start with the battery charger. This is the status. Moving now to the yellow placard indicating from Pierce the date of manufacture, 5-digit job number, gross vehicle weight rating, cold tire inflation, the VIN number, all of the fluid capacities for each component, fluid capacity, and also fluid type. As we move to the floorboard about the left side, you'll find 2 foot pedals. First, your electronic siren and mechanical siren foot pedal. At about the left knee of the operator is where you'll find the master battery switch, also the tech module and engine transmission ABS diagnostic ports. You'll also find some switches across the bottom for ABS diagnostics, DPF regen, engine diagnostics, and regen inhibit, along with a display port for your maintenance team. To the opposite side of the steering column, this is where you'll find the differential interaxle lock. As we move to the opposite side of the steering column, you'll find your pump shift. There are instructions from road to pump, and then also instructions from pump to road. Just as a reminder for pump operations when leaving the cab, confirm pump engaged and OK to pump green indicators. Let's move from this location to the side where you'll find your flat mirror and convex mirror controls. And then now we'll cover the dash area, first starting on the left with your ignition and start switch. Just inside that location is a switch labeled EM, which stands for Emergency Master. This will engage or disengage all emergency lights. Headlight switch and a panel switch allowing you to brighten or dim lights within preview of the operator. To the opposite side is the O case to engage the high idle indicator and switch. As we move to the dash cluster, you'll find the transmission, oil, def level, and water temp. On the right, volts, fuel, front air, and rear air. In the center, we're going to find the tachometer and speedometer. We do have additional tally light information here located above and below the tachometer, and in the very center section, a digital readout. As we move just to the right, you'll find the pull to apply your system parking brake and push to release. It's the yellow diamond. You'll also find your command zone located here. It is a touchscreen and also function buttons below. To the right of that is the windshield wiper control push for fluid. As we move down to the switch area, you'll find an engine brake switch on and off, settings for that engine brake for low, medium, and high, and then also a mirror heat. Moving down, once again, pull to apply your system parking brake, push to release, Allison transmission pad, push button, digital readout with an informational note here to pump in drive. Also some caution and warning labels. Climate control for heat, air conditioning, and defrost. As we move just to the right of this location, 12-volt access via USB. Moving further to the right, in the very center section, you'll find these red and white labels indicating warning, spare wiring, do not remove. This is for indications for your maintenance team as to what option that is. As we look overhead of the driver position, you'll find this yellow placard indicating the height 10 feet 10 inches, length 43 feet 8.5 inches, 76,000 on your gross vehicle weight rating, and also a 5-digit job number in the lower corner, 38143-01. Moving to the right, emergency master, roof light, front warning, side warning, lower rear warning, and upper rear warning. High beam flash, opticom, front scene, driver scene, passenger scene, and cornering lights. Further to the right, you'll find your siren control and PA speaker system, additional switches for aerial master, aerial PTO, front basket, electronic siren, and load manager. Also in the very center, you'll find this warning placard indicating do not move your apparatus if this light is flashing, indicating you may have a compartment or door open. Also, you'll find the forward location of this is your seat belt information. Red, someone is in the seat and not belted. Green, they are in the seat and belted. As we move to the rear, you'll find one forward-facing SCBA seat fold down. Moving now, identifying a few items within the cab area and exterior portion. There's also an SCBA bracket just inside. D-handle gains you access into this space. Moving now back to the front wheel, Goodyear tire, Alcoa wheel, and a visual sight gauge into the center of the axle for fluid check level. As we move to the rear cab area, let's go inside the cab area and affix to the door panel, safety and warning placard information, door lock and latch, window control, and grab handle. Overhead air conditioning unit, push on and off, white or red lens lights. As we look inside, you'll find also a rear-facing seat located on the passenger side that does have the ability to house an SCBA. Additional SCBA bracket here. Overhead, you'll find just behind the driver's position additional storage with LED lighting. Also, as we move to the rear of the engine, you'll find an access panel. Lift and turn latch gains you access into this space. This is your daily checks for oil and transmission. Moving now into the compartment here, webbing material just inside the compartment. You'll find LED lighting and then also a shoreline outlet and also 12-volt breaker bus. On the exterior, you'll find an additional 110 outlet. When plugged into shoreline power, that will become active. This is the shoreline auto eject just on the exterior of the vehicle. As we move in now to the pump panel area, we'll start at the very top section and identify a few items within this area. First, these are the 3 cross lays located in this area, 2 that are speed lay that will pull out. As we move in, you'll find clearly identified color-coded discharges, cross lay number 1 and cross lay number 2. Moving further to the right in the gray module, that is cross lay number 3. There's also a warning placard indicating entanglement hazard. Because of those lines coming from aloft, there is the possibility of entanglement. Moving just to the right is where you'll find the push to prime for your fire pump, at least 1,000 RPMs for best practices. Also, as we move down, warning here, only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment. That's only after proper training. This is your minimum operation maintenance schedule. We'll come back to that in just a few moments. Moving further to the right, pressure throttle governor located at the very top section here. As we move to the right, you'll find 2 master gauges, pump intake and pump discharge, the 2 large gauges in the very top. In between the 2 of those are the test gauge ports for vacuum and pressure. These are currently plugged and are utilized for testing purposes. Let's move back down on the pump panel where you'll find, once again, the fire pump primer, push to prime. As we move further to the right, part of the pressure throttle governor, this is the idle. And then moving further to the right, these are your discharges. We have green and also pink in color. Moving further to the right, this is your tank fill recirculating line. Just below that, you'll find the audible speaker. The outer edge of that bezel does rotate. This is for alarm and also increase or decrease sound. Tank to pump. Moving just down and slightly to the left, you'll find the water level indicator. And then moving further to the right, these are all of our 2.5-inch discharges. As we move in between the 2 of those, you'll find your engine cooler. As we move to the vertical surface, you'll find a speaker and also intercom system for your ladder. To the right, Husky foam system. This is the control module. There are instructions for its operation directly on the face, and then also foam level indicator. Also a OK to pump indicator and panel light. Moving just down and to the right is where you'll find your Husky 3 foam system specifications and operating instruction placards. Let's move just to the left where you'll find the auto eject for your air inlet. Also, task force tips here. This is your large diameter pump inlet gate valve. Moving further down to the lower section, this is part of your foam fill operation for your Husky foam system. As we move further to the right, a 2.5-inch auxiliary inlet locally controlled via the ball valve. Also, a couple warning placards located here. Warning, pressure hazard. Caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening them. Also, this is your Watrous placard indicating the type of water pump that you have. And then just underneath that, warning regarding mixing of different foam brands and consistencies for the possibility of foam failure. Also, as previously mentioned, the 2.5-inch auxiliary inlet, locally controlled ball valve, and then also a danger placard here indicating that your ladder is not insulated, electrocution hazard. Also, these are the two 2.5-inch discharge located here. As we move to the very bottom, you'll find our color-coded labeled discharge drains. Back up to the very far right, the chrome handle, just below that 2.5-inch, is your drain for your pump. And then also manual pump shift is the black handle. As we look just underneath the running board, you'll find your foam pump discharge drain and foam pump intake drain valves. Back to the Wattras placard here, your pump capacity is 2,000 GPM. To the minimum operation maintenance schedule for test pressures at 150, 200, and 250 psi. On the left is the associated GPM, on the right the RPM. While in pump mode, you have a governed speed of 2,130 RPMs. There is also a pull-out and fold-down step area located here in the pump panel. As we move toward the rear of the apparatus, we do have some fold-down steps located here, and then also two D handles gain you access into this space. These are all of your overrides. Just a couple of warning placards here regarding short jacking the vehicle, crush injury, and also pressure hazard because of those hydraulic lines. And then as we move to the right, for example, once again, only trained personnel should operate this piece of equipment. The long placard here that's color-coded indicating the gray will control your ladder functions. As we move down into the green and blue, these will control the overrides also for your stabilizer functions. As we move inside, you can see that they are color-coded and matched to the individual placards indicating gray for ladder controls and yellow, or the kind of lime green blue color for the stabilizer controls. Let's move to the next compartment back, where you'll find a toolbox 3-drawer. Just underneath, you'll find an emergency warning light and then also the air tank drains. There are two located here. This is the DEF fill location. It's the blue cap, indicating here that it is 8 US gallon tank size. Let's go now to the in between the tandem axle for your SCBA bottle storage for 3 bottles with retaining straps. To the rear, a single SCBA bottle, and then just below that, the silver cap, which is your ultra low sulfur diesel fill location. Tandem axle here, Goodyear tires, Alcoa wheel. Moving now for a close-up here of the SCBA bottle storage for 3 bottles. And then now to the upper compartment, where you have a pull-out and tilt downward tray. Both releases are located on each left and right side. Once again, silver cap is the ultra low sulfur diesel fill location. Blue cap is your DEF fill location. As we move toward the rear, adjustable shelving and also a pull-out tray located in the lower right. As we move to the very top section, when plugged into Shoreline Power, the power bar will operate. Also on that vertical wall, you'll find a 12-volt bus bar. Pull-out shelf release located in the lower right. We do have some warning placards here on the exterior of the truck. This is one of them. This is a crush injury warning because of the movement of the outriggers. As we move to the rear compartment, adjustable shelf and LED lighting. Let's take a quick look at the full truck with all compartment doors open. And then we'll move around now to the rear of the apparatus with all compartments open. We'll start in the upper left-hand corner. This is going to be hose storage location. This is just underneath the ladder section. D-handle gains you access into this space. Just below this, you'll find your control module, emergency stop, override, and stabilizer enable, and then also the tethered remote for all of your stabilizer functions. Also, warning placard here indicating aerial stability hazard. This is for short jacking the vehicle. And then also make sure that your plates in the center stabilizers are in line with the vehicle prior to stowing. Rear scene lights located in the cup switch. Just below that, you'll find an inclinometer. This is for left to right or passenger to driver side. Also, direct pull located here on the eyelet, 6,000 pound direct pull. As we move now to the actual basket, you'll find your master stream device located here, and then also a UVM located in the lower section. As we move into the torque box area, this is where you'll find your ladder storage and long-handled tool storage. When the bar is moved downward, it exposes your extension ladders and also roof ladders. As we move to the upper right-hand side, additional hose storage, and then further down on the right, you'll find a warning placard here indicating direct pull only. As we move around to the exterior, once again, crush injury hazard because of the movement of those stabilizers. As we move into the compartment, you'll find adjustable shelving and LED lighting in this compartment, 12-volt shoreline. Moving now to the overwheel compartment, SCBA bottle storage for 1 bottle to the rear and 3 in between the tandem axle. Moving down to the wheel, once again Alcoa wheel and a Goodyear tire. Close up here of the SCBA bottle storage in between the tandems. And then to the single. As we move just below this compartment, this will be the exhaust location. We do have a warning placard here indicating extremely hot diesel exhaust temperatures, especially during regen operation. Please be cautious where you park your vehicle. Moving forward to this location into the next compartment, LED lighting. Just down from the side at the stabilizer here, you'll find an additional crush injury warning hazard and also an emergency warning light. As we move into the compartment, or just to the forward section, you'll find a level indicator for your hydraulic oil for your aerial device. Also, just inside the compartment, you'll find a cab lift. There are instructions for its operation for raise and lower, also caution and danger placard information. We do have some exterior drains located here, tank to pump drain and also tank fill. Right next to that, your emergency warning light in the rub rail, and then also an aerial drain. Let's move back to the pump panel area. We'll start back at the very top with the crosslays. Once again, there are 3. This is a through compartment. As we move down onto the pump panel itself, we'll identify a few items within this area. First, warning, when climbing on the vehicle, always face the vehicle. Same with climbing off. Access door located here for gaining access behind the pump panel. Also, we have an entanglement hazard because those lines coming from aloft, there is the possibility of entanglement. And then also warning, once again, caps may be under pressure. Be cautious when opening them. As we move down to the very bottom, you'll find a 2.5-inch discharge located on the passenger side. Once again, warning, pressure hazard. Moving forward to this location, this is the crosslay for number 1, 1.5 inches. Moving down, once again, never ride on the vehicle while it's in motion. 2.5-inch discharge. As we move down to the Pierce logo American flag eagle, this is the aerial inlet, and it also has a pressure gauge located here. And then just to the right, the large diameter discharge, it's the green in color. Also an additional access panel for gaining behind the pump panel for visual inspection. And just down from that, you'll also find all of our color-coded and labeled discharge drains. As we move just under the running board, you'll also find the manifold drain. Let's go ahead and move now into the cab section. Affixed to the door panel, safety and warning placard information. Combination door lock and latch. Window controls are manual and a grab handle. Overhead, you'll find your air conditioning unit, push on and off white and red lens lights, and then also your wired intercom system. As we move to the rear, you'll find an access netting located here. Inside that space, you'll find shoreline power outlets and also 12-volt. Forward of that location, you'll find at the roof level additional storage. Back to the exterior, Goodyear tire, Alcoa wheel, and a visual sight gauge into the center axle. We're now moving into the officer space. Affixed to the door panel are safety and warning placard information, door lock and latch combination, manual window control, and a grab handle. Your vehicle is equipped with a supplemental restraint system airbag. That's the device indicated located here, and also a warning placard. Also, fill location for your windshield wiper fluid. As we move to the floor level, you'll find a mechanical siren foot pedal. Let's go back to the front officer space, identify that warning placard here regarding mounting any equipment within this area. Just to the left of the officer seat, you'll find a siren brake and also an electronic siren push button. You'll also find, once again, these red and white labels indicating warning, do not remove, spare wiring. It also indicates the type of termination and also option number. Overhead, let's take a look at some of the functions here. We have some switches located here for your scene lights. We have a front scene, driver scene, passenger scene, rear scene, corner lights, and momentary opticom. Once again, when any of the activations have been activated by pushing the switch, the green light will illuminate, indicating switch is on. This is your fire comm system for volume control and squelch module. All compartments now are open. On the passenger side, let's go ahead and take a look on top where you'll find your dunnage and hose storage area. Class A foam tank, just a reminder, warning, do not mix different brands or consistencies of foam for the possibility of foam failure. Also, top fill on your water tank. Dunnage area once again, and hose storage. Moving down to the ladder itself, we'll identify a few items within this area. First, on the fly section, you'll find a 14-foot roof storage location. As we move to the exterior, additional life bracket storage. Just a couple reminders regarding your hatch boxes here. We do have some weight capacities. This one is 40 pounds. Now to the basket area, we'll identify a few items within this area. To the rear portion of the basket, this is where you'll find your information regarding the capacities and NFPA requirements. This is for waterway dry, a flow chart, and then also waterway charged flow chart. Just below that, the monitor nozzle positions. And then as we move further to the right at the very bottom, you'll find icy condition information also. Just a couple of reminders here. This is also for warning fall restraint required. Also tipping hazards in case you've short-jacked the vehicle on either one or the other side. Additional warning placards here regarding danger. The ladder itself is not insulated, therefore electrocution hazard. And then also crush injury because of the movement of that ladder or any of the hydraulic components. As we move to the very bottom, you'll find a storage locations for an axe here, and to the left of that, a chainsaw scabbard. Some additional controls within the bucket area. We'll identify those starting on the left-hand side, first with the emergency stop push button. As we move down from this, you'll find the aerial speed. It's either normal or fast. And then also, this is for the manual leveling of your basket. Enable or disable, and then also an up-down switch. This is the same display you have in the inside. It's the push button and also touch function screen. Tremendous amount of information. See the owner's manual for more information on it. Ladder control for extend, retract, right, left, and lower and raise. Light control for the tip and underbody basket, and then also nozzle control for stream fog, right, left, and raise lower. Just a quick view of the front bumper turret. As we move to the rear wall, you'll also find some additional warning placards here. This is in reference to the life brackets, and also just to the right is where you'll find your intercom system. It is a volume control passive. Moving to the rear of the bucket, you'll find additional storage. These happen to be maximum capacity of 10 pounds. We're at the base of the ladder. We'll go ahead and cover some of the items within this area. First, we'll start with the As we get into that next image, this is going to be the control module. In the very front section, this is your intercom, volume control, and push to talk. This is the same controls that you'll find at the tip that you have here at the pedestal area, and also display screen. Emergency stop in the very top position, light control, and then also ladder control for extend, retract, left, right, and raise, lower. What I would like to point out is on the cover here is the same placard you have at the very front of the basket regarding your load charts, and then also some additional warning and danger placard located within this area. As we move to the forward section of the cab, this is a non-walking surface, and therefore we have these indicating that this is a slip hazard. All of the images going forward from this point are going to be that of the engine and chassis undercarriage. Let's first start identifying this is the tow location for your vehicle. There are two round, circular, and nipple portions underneath the frame area. When tilting the cab of the vehicle, make sure that your cab is fully tilted and that the bar is placed into position as a safety mechanism. Please do not lower the cab onto the safety bar. As you move up, you'll find your power steering fluid and also sight gauge. Moving to the right, you'll find the radiator overfill location. Your vehicle is equipped with TAC4 independent front suspension. As we move through the rest of the items within the engine area, oil and transmission dipsticks and fill location to the rear, accessible from within inside the cab area when the cab is not tilted. Moving now to the battery area, this is going to be on the driver's side. Just underneath the battery box is where you'll find the negative and positive jumper studs. To the rear of this location is where you'll find the fill location for the hydraulic oil for the cab tilt. From this point, there'll be no additional audio. This will conclude the additional images. We've got a short video here of the emergency warning lights activated. Congratulations, City of Anacortes, Washington, on your new Pierce fire apparatus, job number 38143. If you have any questions, please contact your Hughes Fire sales representative. Thank you and congratulations.